did answer you first. Go read it. So you cannot say I didn't answer you. So now you answered me. It is a little pathetic how word you are trying to avoid answering me. It is a little comical. Now you are resorting to lying when the evidence against you is right here in the comments. What's wrong with you? I shouldn't have to try this hard to get one answer to one simple question. Until you answer, I'm going to respond to you. I'm not going to respond to you at all anymore. I'm feeling quite disrespected by your rudeness and refusal to answer. And I answered you. I believe what the Bible says. And I copied and pasted just 4 versions of the Bible to show that I agree with what they say, which is that God saw what Jehu did in killing the Baal worshippers as right. What more do you want? But again, where does God tell Rahab, Samuel, Jehu, anyone to lie and deceive in the Bible so you, as a Muslim, can feel free to lie your upraised patootie in prostration off like Muhammad says you can with Quran 328? Number 1, why do you say that nowhere in the Bible does God command? I have presented examples. You simply chose not to accept it. 2, how I responded is not your responsibility. The oneness has been placed upon to answer, however, and seen as how you have been accusing me of lying for the whole time anyway, how you answer shouldn't affect my level of honesty, right? All you are doing is showing your own level of intellectual honesty and integrity to be quite low. You keep on saying you have presented examples of what? God telling people to lie? Again, for the countless time, where does God tell Jehu or anyone or any human being to lie in the Bible so you, a Muslim, can feel guilt-free in your own lying like Islam teaches with Quran 328 and 6106? Also, if you are going to be so disrespectful as to mock Salah and mock Islam, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I really don't have to take abuse or tolerate that just because you don't like the question I ask. Answer the question! The reason why I said upraised patootie prostration was because I knew you might see it as mocking of Salah. I did that just to see if you actually were reading what I was posting. Nice to see that you might have been after all. By the way, you can't deny the fact that when you are in prostration during a portion of Salah, your patootie isn't up in the air. I mean, you can't, can you? It is up in the air during the time you put your forehead and the long part of your nose on the floor. Down on the floor. It really is like the easiest question I've asked. But I guess you don't have the strength in you to just answer it. Because you know when you do, I'm going to be all over you like white on rice. So, when you are ready to answer, I'll just come back and we can follow it up with my responses concerning the verses that you say, let me lie. I posted above, but like I keep on asking you, and you keep on avoiding, where does God tell Jehu, Samuel, Rahab, or any human being to lie and deceive? So once again, for the record, I'll restate the question. The deed which Jehu did, the deed which included the deception and destruction of the worshippers of Baal, you cannot say the deception isn't included because he said, you've done all that was in my heart. He didn't exclude any part. Did God say his deed was good or bad? Just answer, easy peasy. Quote, he said it was, ... unquote. I will come back just as soon as this question has been answered. At the King James Bible, and the Lord said unto Jehu, because thou hast done right in executing that which is right in my eyes. All? Where does it say all? But even if Jehu did all that was right in the Lord's eyes, where again in the Bible does God tell Jehu, Samuel, Moses, Samson, Rahab to lie and deceive? Of course God is going to be pleased that his will was carried out, but again, where does God tell any of them to lie? Anything that happens, it seems, is God's will. So of course God will be pleased. I didn't respond. So you're now saying, quote, pardoning is not the right word because you feel what Jehu did wasn't lying? Could you make up your mind, please? I didn't say he wasn't lying. He did what I said. He did what I said was. In the Bible, God said he did what was right, and it was all that was in his heart. You still didn't answer my question. Did God say what Jehu did was right or wrong? From what you're telling me, is that God said that Jehu did was right. And since you feel it wasn't, who knows, lying, there is no problem with what he did. But I'm betting you are hoping Jehu was lying and God was saying, right on, so you can feel free to lie to me without guilt, true? There is no pardoning here. Because according to the Bible, Jehu didn't do anything wrong. Rather, what he did was right. I think you just pulled a Jehu yourself there. And you never answered my 4 questions about Jehu. So answer them here. 1. Again, did God say what Jehu did was right or wrong? It's a simple question. Answer it. I also have another point about your quote pardoning unquote quip, but it can wait till you answer this. It's an easy question. Did he say it was right or wrong? So, what is it? Quote, you have done well, unquote, isn't pardoning, or is it not? Or is that like asking, quote, is that like asking lying isn't, quote, bearing false witness? Is that what it's like asking? So I did respond with the verses about the Spirit and about Samuel. I presented my evidence. Whether or not you accept it is one thing, but you cannot say I didn't respond. On the other hand, my questions about God assisting, approving, praising, and rewarding acts of deception, and my question about Jehu, you have not responded to. You keep diverting with the same thing, and I respond every time. Now is the time for you to answer those questions. Well, taqqiya is response, by golly. That is for sure. Rather than believers, our command is easily fulfilled without telling a single lie, or you are using taqqiya, lying, to say that since I'm not your neighbor, and are you lying since I'm not your neighbor? No, I'm not lying since I feel. I'm not lying since I feel that this commandment is more than something dealing with a neighbor. You, on the other hand, feel it's only dealing with not bearing false witness against your neighbor. Nothing to do with lying, you said. They're totally different. So you can lie to me and say whatever you want about Samuel, Jehu, God, whatever, true? But how can I trust you that you indeed feel that it is more? Well, you can't trust me. You can't trust me. Not if you want to keep on believing God, telling people in the Bible to lie and deceive. How can you trust me if you want to believe the Bible is like the Quran with 16:106 and 328, or, quote, war is deceit, as Muhammad says, or, quote, verily we smile for some people while our hearts curse those same people. See, hey, that's Sahih al-Bukhari 4, page 45, publishers, Uthmania, Egypt, that Abu al-Darda said he heard the Prophet. How? How can you trust me? Or believing lying is not breaking, quote, thou shalt not lie, unquote. Especially when you have so many preachers running around saying, quote, we are at war with this group or that group. So many preachers. Is this true, or because I'm not your neighbor, you can lie without guilt here? The question I have for you here is, what if your actual neighbor reads what you have been writing to me? Are you not then bearing false witness to that neighbor of yours? Being so the case, are you sure you want to continue to think there is a big difference between lying and thou shalt not bear false witness as a way to feel comfortable performing taqqiya for Allah, lying for Allah?